Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbana zidna ilma. Allahumma faqihna fid din. Allahumma inni as'aluka ilman nafi'a wa rizqan tayyiba wa amalan mutaqabbala. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. So here we are with our session number 59. And inshallah, we are going to start our session with a quick review of whatever we have learned in our previous sessions, inshallah. So let me start with the review that we were doing in our last session because we did not complete it. So I'm just going to quickly go over that. So as you can see here, zahaba. What do you think about this word zahaba, my dear sisters? Is it an ism or a fail or a harf? What does it look like? Can you hear me? It's a fail. Barakallahu feek, yes. When you call it a fail, what kind of a fail it is? You have learned a few af'al in Quran. One was fail, madin, mudari, amr. Is it past, present, or command? Madi, good job. It's right. It sounds like nasara, very similar to nasara. It does not have anything after it. There are three letters that are not being followed by anything, right? So we know that the mir is here not visible, it is mustatir. And when you have your damir mustatir, and that is huwa or hiya, you look for what? What should I start looking for? If it is damir mustatir huwa, I am going to look for an outside doer. And do I see one? Yes, we do see one. Al-zama'u is the outside doer for zahaba, right? Zahaba zama'u. Make sense? What kind of a sentence are we labeling right now? Jumla fi'liya. Barakallahu fi. Very well done. Now, here comes our waw. And what are we going to label this waw? Yes, we are going to call it har'at. Ibtallat. Ibtallat. What do you think? It's Madi again. So do you see when it is fail madin, we have discovered that, right? We have known that this is fail madin. Now what should we look for? The next step is every fail has a pronoun. So yes, and you're right, but before that, just find the pronoun here. What could be the pronoun here? Because there is a tasakun, this kasra we know is a temporary kasra. It is just there because it is being followed by a letter of sukoon. Yes, it is here. And then uruku, and I'm so proud of you all that, whosoever has said that, uruk, it does not even have a haraka there. It should have a dhamma on qaf. And this is an outside doer. Al-uruk means veins. Why is feminine fail used here? What do you think? Veins of the, it's a broken plural, barakallahu fi, and it's a non-human. Remember, non-human broken plural. So we are going to use a field that is here, right? That has a pronoun here, and that we have seen here. Okay, now comes your harf wow. Sister Semina, I understand, that's fine. Wow. It is again your harf atf, sabata, sabata. Now look at your word has three letters, right? Sabata, nasara, zahaba. So now think about it. What kind of a word it is? Bau'at, and now again it is madi, right? Any confusion about this being fail madi? And the other hint is you will not see just something in a nasb status and then there is a an ism there after it, right after it, which is carrying a dhamma. So that helps us all the more that you have a three-lettered word sounding like our nasara, and then you have a ism after it which is marfu in status and is most likely an outside doer for that, right? So it is again al ajru is going to be, what should I label ajru? Al ajru, outside doer. What will happen to the pronoun of sabata? Sabata, cancelled. Very well done. Very well done. If since it is after, it is going to be cancelled. Barakallahu fi. In, where did you learn this word in? Remember? Haruf nasiba or haruf jazima? In, lam, lamma, wal, fal, li. In, lam, lamma, li, right? We are not going to say wal, fal. We are just going to in, lam, lamma, li, la, right? Jazima. No problem. We have not gone over them for some time. That's totally fine. So now comes your word sha'a. Sha'a. Your word is simply sha'a. What should I label this one? Madi huwa barakallahu fi Allahu. Allahu. What should I label Allahu? Lafzul Jalala. Very well done. So, do you find it difficult so far doing these sentences? Do you find any difficulty? We are good. Type 1 if you are all good with that. Okay. We are going to have these reviews consistently throughout Ramadan. We are just reviewing after our session number 60. Okay, so I'm not sure if Sister Faiza has already put that in announcement, but we are mainly going to do review. We will do the i'rab on the verses of the Quran. Okay, so real quick, what time is it? Okay, so all these sentences, ذهب الظمأ وابتلت الأروق وثبت الأجر, all these sentences, what kind of sentences they are? Very well done. Jumla failure, jumla failure, jumla failure, jumla failure, jumla failure. And Sha'Allah is also a jumla failure. Everyone with me? Did I label any, other than calling it harf atf, did I say anything else about wow that was harf? Did I ever tell you anything, even when I see it in Jumla failure or Ismiya, do I call it anything else? Do you ever notice it being labeled as anything? Yes, we have learned different kinds of vowels throughout the course, but this vow, just think about harf atf wow, and all those vowels we were also go over those vowels again, inshallah. We'll keep on revising them, inshallah, because that's a goal, is to retention. Goal is not just having the notes and then not going over them. So yes, there are different kinds of vowels that we have gone over during this course as well, and there may be some types from before. However, the purpose is, there is one vowel that I always call a doer. And what is the status of that vowel? And what is the name of that vowel? If somebody can write the name of vowel that we see, vowel jama'a, and what is the status of that vowel in any situation, in any case? It's always rough in status, because either it is a doer, or it's going to be naibul file, or it is in one more entity that you have not learned, and you will be going over it very soon as well. Okay, but you always remember that it's always going to be rough in status. And that vowel, what is it originally? Is it an ism, fail, or harf? Tell me that. Is it an ism, fail, or harf? The question is that vowel jama'a? Ism, fail, or harf? Beautiful answer. It's a pronoun. So it falls under the umbrella of Aisha and Rubin, ism, right? It falls under an umbrella of an ism. Everyone agrees now? We look for the status of that vowel. But if your vowel is harf, do I ever talk about the status? Do I ever? Never, ever. And if I use a term like la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab, very, very heavy term, right? La mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. It has no place in i'rab because it has no status. This waw atf is that. Your haruf are la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. You don't call them raf, nasb, jar. You don't call them that. Okay, they don't have any i'rab because they can never be doer, they can never be done to, they can never be fa'il, they can never be maf'ul, they can never be mubtada, they can never be khabar. Okay, and they can never be mutaliq bil khabar. Okay, they cannot be any of that entity. They may along with something form a mutaliq bil khabar, but if your waw is a harf, any word that is a harf does not have any i'rab. So I will go over this concept slowly and gradually and again and again until it is engraved in your brains. Just like now you look at the pronouns in af'al and you recognize them so beautifully. Similarly, inshallah, it's on my agenda that you understand this concept, that what is meant by la mahalla lahu min al-i'rab. That means this word that is there is not going to be a raf, nasb, jar, or jazm. So it does not belong to any category that can have any status. It cannot be fa'il, it cannot be maf'ul, it cannot be mubtada, it cannot be khabar. Okay, main things are those things. So keep that in mind, inshallah, and we'll keep on reviewing that. Don't get overwhelmed by the term. Okay, inshallah. Now I will show you something. I'm skipping one verse from this review that I gave you. How many of you were able to complete your work? Whatever you knew from the sheet, if you have put i'rab on that, if you have filled out the table, that means you have finished your work. How many of you were able to do? Sister Ambreen, as-sabiqun al-awwalun. So, ashabul, what is the place for them? There's one. No, you are as-sabiqun al-awwalun. There were three types, and which category should you are among the best category. So for now, yeah, yesterday, but not easily as just did with you. Alhamdulillah. And that is what Aisha people tell us, when they are in the original phases or the very beginning. They say we know everything. And sister, there is another sister in the class right now. She can tell you. She used to tell me, Saima, I can do it with you, but when I'm doing by myself, I find it very difficult. But it is natural. You will be able to finish this in no time. The way you are learning it, alhamdulillah, and it's not anything to do with me. It is because, subhanallah, may Allah put barakah in your efforts. You are yourself so smart, mashallah. So you will be finishing these sheets in no time. Okay, you tried. That means that is one. Okay, you tried. That is one. Okay, and inshallah we'll keep on practicing, and that is why we are here, right? Okay, so next exercise for today. Antum, you see you are given this part of the verse. You see something like Antum mutalli'un. Mutalli'un. So now what do you do? What will you label Antum as? Barakallahu feek, Sister Zarina. So it is a pronoun, it is a mubtada. Yes, that is what it is. That is what it is, Aisha. You got it. Okay. Now, since it is a pronoun, you know your independent pronouns, damir munfasil, that are the independent pronouns are mostly marfu in status or raf in status. It is going to be called your mubtada. What are you going to label the second word? Let me enlarge it. For some, it may be too small for myself as well. Enlarge it. Second. 50. It's a khabar. Any difficulty run asked today? Everyone with me so far? Jumla Ismiya, you found 2 parts of Jumla Ismiya? Not yet. Okay, Barakallah fi. We'll find it then for you, and then I will ask you again. I will try to, keep it simple, but inshallah. If it is difficult at some point, let me know. Allahu. You have a word Allah, Lafzul Jalala. The sentence is beginning with an ism that is marfu in status. What kind of a sentence? Now, Aisha, tell me in sequence. What kind of a sentence? Jumla Ismiya, right? Now you are only thinking about Jumla Ismiya. What is in Jumla Ismiya? I'rab, citing Arab, Arabuha, yes, that is what it is. What are the Arab? Yeah, that is what it involves. Arab means that you are now calling something as mubtada, khabar, mutalik bil khabar, or fa'il, maf'ul, and all those things. Okay, so Allahu is mubtada, khaliqu. What is khaliqu? You found your mubtada, khaliq, khabar. Okay, khabar. Can you connect these two together? Can you connect them? Aisha, connect it. I want Aisha to connect it. And then I will ask each and every sister separately to do that. And inshallah. Aisha, connect Khaliq with Kulli. How can you connect? Khaliq is light. No alif lam. Think about it. And followed by a word that is no, khaliq. This is word that is light. It is khabar. But this is an ism that is light. Khaliqu, right? Allah is creator of everything. So khaliq was light. And now when you connect these two, you can connect them through idafa, right? The relationship between two isms is this is mudaf and this is mudaf ilayhi, right? Mudaf ilayhi. Everyone with me so far? Aisha, is it clear? Alhamdulillah. Now, you connected those two. Can you connect these two? Kulli shay'in. Connect Zarina. And excuse me if I'm taking your names and I'm not calling you, I'm not showing, much respect, but I have a lot of respect for each and every student of Quran, right? Again, kulli is not only mudaf ilayhi, it is again a mudaf too, right? It always comes as mudaf, right? So there is kulli shay'in is again an idafa, right? Two idafas are there. All connected? Everything is connected? And everything together? Everything is together then? Because you could not break it. I told you where I am going to go, my hands and my brain, my everything is going to go with me. It's not that I leave my brain somewhere else and I go somewhere, right? Yeah, hands and fingers, remember, they go with you. You don't break them off and leave, them in a separate room. Yeah, just remember, they're all together. Similarly, khaliqu kulli shay'in is going to be together. Your khabar is khaliq. You are going to call kulli mudaf ilayhi majroor bil idafa because it is majroor, it is jar in status. Bil idafa means because of idafa. Kulli shayin, again, shayin, you can just write in front of shayin, majroor bil idafa, and I will know that you girls have understood the concept of how to connect things and how to keep them connected. Okay. Now, look at this one. Waw is going to be your atf, and real quick, tell me what is huwa. Huwa is going to be again starting your new sentence. You will see in one words multiple sentences, and you may see multiple verses connected together and forming one sentence. When we started off our Jumla Ismiya, I gave you an example of Suratul Fatiha, Okay. Surah Al-Fatiha, first 4 verses were all together and they were constituting one complete sentence, if you remember, right? That's how we did it. Similarly, you will notice that in one verse, no, it's not similarly, it's, on the other hand, you can see one verse containing many sentences. Okay, and I will give you an example. Okay? So huwa is going to be mubtada al-wahidu. What is al-wahid? What should be? Khabar. Ranas, should it not be khabar? Allah is the creator of everything, and He is single, Al-Qahhar. Al-Qahhar. What do you think? Khabar 2? Everyone, it makes sense or no? Dominant. He is single, or he's the only one. He's one and the only, and he's the dominant one. The dominant. Khabar 1, Khabar 2. Everyone understood that? I've seen answers, so I think this concept is, good. We are good with this one. Now, just quickly do this, and I will take you to something else real quick. Whom? Mubtada. Al-yawma. Al-yawma. And now, this whom is going to be munfasil. This whom is going to be damir munfasil. Just, fasal, before your fasal, if you can just add mim noon, munfasil, this one. Al-yawma. Al-yawma. Very well done, Ranas. Very well done, Ranas. So proud of you. Don't forget this for the rest of your life. If you see this yawma, and this is going to come in the verses, and you will, inshallah, will be finishing your Quran this Ramadan, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me ability and tawfiq to do so, inshallah, that I finish my entire Quran, inshallah. So when you see this, we all are going to make sure that we pay full attention to it, and we know that this is mutalik bil. Okay, this is mutalik bil because it has to do with time and place here. Okay. Mustaslimun. Mustaslimuna. What is the status of this word? Why, Sister Sabra? Give me a reason. What tells you that this is marfu status or raf status? Sister Sabra. What is this in this word is telling me wow, right? Una or wow, because noon may not be there. But this wow al jama is telling me that this word is marfu bil wow. Very well done. Very well done. Khabar marfu bil wow. Subhanallah. So this one is easy. Do it yourself. This one I can do it with you, and I can help you. Okay, this is your homework. This one, hum mukramun, is your homework. Okay, ulaika. And those of you who are not doing their homework, kindly, I will ask Sister Faiza to to tell you what to do then. Ulaika. Mubtada. Very well done, my dear sisters. So it's an ishara. It is ishara, yeah, your pointer, and it's also mubtada because there is no other reason for it to be of any other status, but it is mubtada. Now comes ulaika, those who are little far away. Lahum rizqum ma'lum. So lahum is going to be your mutalik bil khabar, and I have made it a little easy for you. So now if you just stay in this parentheses, what should be risk here? That's okay. That's okay. I didn't even see what you wrote. Now let me go back then what you wrote. So that's okay. No, jar majroor mutalik bil khabar muqaddam. That is absolutely right answer. That is right. That is what it is. Lahum is jar majroor mutaliq bil khabar muqaddam. It is. Now tell me about risk. Yeah, muqaddam is right. It is, isn't it before your something? Risk should be first, right? Let me try. When I parenthesize this, that means that this is now a sentence. Now, I told you in one session, if you see a sentence that has mutaliq bil khabar before, the ism that comes after it is going to be labeled as mubtada. And in this case, it makes total sense. Look at these sentences. These are possessive sentences. Jumla ismiya is, okay, let me see. Khabar, then, but how muqaddam? Muqaddam means it has been brought forward. You know, your order is mubtada, khabar, mutaliq bil khabar. And some even, mubtada khabar is the order, okay? Mainly mubtada khabar. But if your this jar majroor is, anything is before mubtada. If anything is before your mubtada, it is going to be muqaddam. It has been brought forward. Remember that. If you remember this phrase, anything before your mubtada, it is going to be muqaddam. It has been brought forward before its actual position. Okay. So now, let me go back to the verse again. Let me see. Okay. This is an entire sentence by itself. It is an entire sentence. Okay. Let me tell you how. If I am telling you lahum is here, it is jar majroor. Now, based on the slide that I just showed you, what should you label risk? Now, what is the labeling for risk? Zarina. Very well done. Now it is mubtada, guys. It is a possessive sentence. These sentences are called possessive sentences. Okay. They have known provision. They have known provision. Lahum, for them, is a known provision. So for them is a known provision. It's not a right way to translate it. You will see the translation as they will have, or they have known provision, right? Just how? Let me tell you. Just like fi qulubihim marad, I told you that this jar wal majroor has been brought forward, right? And this marad is actually maradun is your mubtada muakhar. It has been delayed, and that's why we call it muakhar. Can you hear me now, Ranas? Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. So again, going back to our sentence for today. So this whole thing is a complete sentence. So now, if ulaika was mubtada, what is this? This entire highlighted portion. This is khabar. The whole thing is khabar. What kind of a khabar you have? Your khabar is mufrad ism, jumla ismiya, or jumla fi'liya? Jumla ismiya. So it is going to be now labeled as fi mahalli raf'in, because your khabar is always marfu in status in this case. What is one thing that we should always have when our khabar is a sentence? We always have to have something that goes back to mubtada. What is that something? Damir, barakallahu feek. Damir, your pronoun has to be there when the khabar is a jumla. When your khabar is a jumla, your pronoun or damir has to be there. Do you see one, my dear sisters? Do you see a damir? Yes, they will match, and that is why, right? They can be, it can go back to it. If it is here, that means you don't have a pronoun going back to mubtada, right? Going back to means that this hum should match with ulaika. Okay, so the hum here goes back to ulai. So that is every prerequisite is met. That is why this Jumla Ismiya is going to be, the entire sentence is going to be khabar for ulaika. And I'm going to bring more practice for these kind of sentences, inshallah. So let's just quickly do this. And then that's the last sentence. Okay. Hum mubtada la yash'urun. La yash'urun. Khabar. Jumla failure is khabar. Barakallahu fi. Do you see a pronoun that goes back to whom? La nafiya. La nafiya. Yes, la is nafiya. Barakallahu fi. Yes, the whole thing is khabar. Waw is there, and it is wawil jama'a, which is your pronoun. No, this is not khabar marfu bil waw. This is fi mahalli raf'in, because now the status in case of jumla failure is different when you compare it status of an ism. Because every fail is a sentence by itself. This waw is not the same, is not performing the same function as the waw of Muslimuna. Let me tell you, their names are different. They are differently named. This waw is wawil jama'a, and that waw that you see in Muslimuna, or you saw here in Mutalli'una, this waw is wawil jama. Jim, mim, ain. Fi mahalli means that instead of a mustaslimuna kind of a word, where waw was the sign of marfu status, I have a whole sentence here. I have a whole sentence. So my place is here, the place of marfu ism has been occupied by a sentence, right? In place of raf, in place of a raf status, in place of fi mahalli, in place of marfu ism, I have a whole sentence, because you can have a very long sentence as well. You know, here you can see the whole sentence. Lahum rizqum ma'lum. So this whole sentence is fi mahalli rafin. Similarly, la yash'urun jumla, entire jumla. So that is why we are going to call it fi mahalli rafin, that this is coming in place of my marfu ism. Does it make sense or no? Fi means in and mahal means place. Yes, in place of. We have done that. Sabra, remember? Yes, you can write down in your notes for you guys, because you know, fi in mahal. Mahal means place. Raf, fi mahali rafin, in place of raf. So because this is the whole sentence, right? The whole sentence. And there is a question about this la. There is a question about this la. I skipped this part. And if after la ism comes, then it becomes mubtada. We'll do that. We will do that. If it was an ism, that is another thing that inshallah we will do. Right now, it is the whole sentence. It depends on what comes after la. Okay? It depends on what comes after la, and then we label it accordingly. Okay? For example, if it was hum la khawfun alayhim, hum la khawfun alayhim, then it means that this is a complete jumla ismiya sentence. Then khawfun is going to be mubtada, and alayhim is going to be mutalik bil khabar, and whole sentence la khawfun alayhim is going to be khabar for hum. And that is again going to be fi mahalli raf'in. Make sense, Sister Zarina? I hope it's clear, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, we'll practice it, and inshallah it will be clear. If it is not clear, if it is not so crisp right now, okay? I'll try to make it clear as a day, inshallah. So today we are going to learn another form of jumla ismiya. And this is very easy peasy, you have all done it. Have you reviewed your harf nasab wa ismuha? Who has reviewed their harf nasab wa ismuha? And if you have reviewed it, it might help, inshallah. Okay, so my dear sisters, if you see tawqeed, tawqeed means emphasis. Now we have learned there are particles of emphasis, and who remembers the particles of emphasis in jumla failure? What kind of particles we can use in jumla failure that can bring emphasis? Who remembers? We started off with fil madin, and to emphasize fil madin, we can use qad, right? Qad aflaha mu'minun, right? Qad, lam tawqid, right? And with fil mudari, we can use noon, right? Noon, noon tawqid as-sakila, noon tawqid al-khafifa, right? Noon mushaddada and noon khafifa can be used to bring emphasis, and lam is used to bring emphasis. Remember that, okay? So, if you go back to your notes in Jumla Fi'liya, you will see qad, lam tawqid or lamul qasam, and you will see nunu tawqid, okay? In case of Jumla Ismiya, for emphasis in Jumla Ismiya, you can use again lam tawqid. You can use lam tawqid again, lam of emphasis that is translated as surely, surely, and then you can use inna. Remember what is the meaning of inna? If you have gone over that, you must have gone over the meanings. Indeed, barakallahu feek, my dear sisters, right? So indeed, absolutely no doubt, right? No doubt. Some translations will also translate inna as no doubt, okay? Keep that in mind. So sometimes, you can use lam tawqid, and then sometimes you can use inna. So today we are going to go over what is the role actually of inna wa ikhwatuha in Jumla Ismiya. Okay, today the class was about the role of inna wa ikhwatuha in Jumla Ismiya, and we will learn another form of Jumla Ismiya that is little different. Okay, these haruf, inna wa ikhwatuha, inna and its sisters, are also called haruf mushabba bil fi'l. They are also called harufe nasikha. Harufe nasikha, okay? And I will tell you why, okay? But before that, I want to, for those sisters who have not gone over that, there are 6 harufe nasiba that we have learned in our first term, and they, with their ism, make a fragment, and the fragment is labeled as harf nasb wa ismuha, okay? There are 6 of them. Inna, which means indeed, certainly, no doubt. Anna, that is also translated similarly, but we can add that in addition to indeed, certainly, no doubt. Then comes ka'anna, which means as though. Then comes later, which means if only. Then comes la'alla, which means so that, hopefully, maybe. Then comes lakinna, which means however. Most of them are similar in terms of nun mushaddada, inna anna ka anna, layta la'alla lakinna. So inna anna ka anna, the first 3 with nun mushaddada, inna anna ka anna, layta la'alla lakinna, and last 3 are similar in terms of starting with lam. Right? Okay. So what should they do to the ism that comes after them? What should they do to an ism that comes after them? They should make it mansoob, right? Easy. They will make it mansoob, right? So the ism that is mansoob in status or nasb in status, whichever term is easy for you, my dear sisters, remember that. If it is a fully flexible ism, if it is some ism that can show its status and is singular, mufradism, which is like something like muslimun, musliman, muslimin kind of an ism, then if it is mansoob in status, it is going to look like this word musliman, okay? It is also going to look like musliman if it's a broken plural. Remember that, okay? Remember broken plural can also take, it can have a ending similar to a singular ism, right? And that is actually based on knowledge and learning about different broken plural patterns. We learn that that this is a broken plural, and we distinguish it from a singular ism. Otherwise, it looks the same, right? If I give you a word like asma, you cannot tell me it's a plural because it does not have a fixed plural ending, which is una, ina, or atunatin, right? It does not have a or ya or atun, atin kind of an ending. Is asma the word. So it can look very similar to musliman. Do you all agree or no? Sometimes people are confused. If they don't know word to word very well, they can get confused that it may look like a singular word. Okay, so based on your knowledge and where you are, broken plurals I'm talking about, they can be confused with a singular word. People who are, who know word to word, they can identify them as plural. And sometimes, if you know broken plural patterns, that helps you identify that your word is plural. Okay, that's absolutely fine. With more practice, you will not do that in future, inshallah. Okay, everyone makes the same mistake in the beginning, and that's why we learn. If a word is partly flexible, what will happen to the word? It will look like Yusufa. Why Yusufa? What is different from Musliman in Yusufa, in word Yusufa? What is special about, very well done. It cannot take tanween. It cannot take tanween. Barakallahu fi. No tanween. Very well done, my dear sisters. If it is non-flexible, it will remain unchanged like word haza. If in case of a masculine and feminine dual, a ya preceded by letter carrying fatha, like muslimaini, and something like ayataini, ayataini, those kind of words like ya is preceded by a letter carrying fatha. Yes, aleen is there, so that helps you identify that your word is a dual. Okay, if your word is a masculine plural, your ya is going to be preceded by what? It's a plural. Now we are talking about plural. It is going to be preceded by kasra. Barakallahu feek. Muslimina, muflihina, muttaqina, lil muttaqina. Right? We in the very beginning we see that muttaqina or adallina. So everyone with me so far, or it's too much? We have reviewed that. We have gone over it in the past, right? We are just reviewing it. So if your word is a feminine plural, your word will look like muslimatin. Just real quick. Now, I have added to my today's slides, these slides, so that you know if your word is nasb status, what is going to be the how you are going to identify it. Everyone with me so far? I hope you all are. Okay. This is how it is going to look. Okay, so now what we have learned in the past is, and this is just a revision of that. Harf nasab wa ismuha is a fragment that is made up of two parts. First part is harf nasb, second part is its ism. Okay, second part is its ism. So inna allaha, what is harf nasab here? In this, what is harf nasab here? Inna, and what is Allah? Allah, lafzul jalala is going to be ismu inna. Ismu inna. Mansub lit-ta'zim. Mansub lit-ta'zim, right? Harf nasab wa ismuha. Clear, my dear sisters? Everyone with me so far? If you remember, and this is from your previous slides, my dear sisters, harf nasab and its ism can have long distance relationship. Remember that. Okay, they don't have to be right next to each other. They may be apart from one another. Okay, and then I taught you what can come between harf nasab and its ism. If you remember this, life is easy. Life is easy. Two fragments can come between harf nasab and its ism. One is al-jar wal majroor, and the second one is az-zarf idafa. Clear or no? Okay. Okay. This was, I kept the examples, and we will come back to it. And this is, few extra points, and this is okay. So now, why are we learning about it? Why are we learning about it now, though we have learned them in the past? So it's sometimes when you have to bring emphasis in jumla ismiya, and you have to say, indeed Allah. So you see this, Allahu basirun. Translate this for me. Allahu basirun. Allah, basir means ever seen. Basir, ever seen. Allah is ever seen, right? Now, I want to tell you with lot of emphasis, indeed Allah, no doubt Allah, absolutely Allah is ever seen. What do I do to it? What should I do? I'm going to tell you. You're going to learn it. I'm going to add inna to it. add tawqeed. And what are my particles of tawqeed? Inna and lam, right? Inna and lam. So I right now want to emphasize my lafzul jalala. And I don't need to, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, no, doesn't befit him to, I cannot use that it like that, but I have to bring more emphasis in this sentence. So what do? I will use inna. I will use inna. Okay. So what will happen to when I use inna? What kind of a harf it is, my dear sisters? Rana's answer me this question. What kind of a harf inna is? If I use inna, what will happen to Allah? Because now it is harf nasab. So what does it do to its ism? What is its action on its ism? What kind of action it exerts on its ism? It makes it mansoob. So what happened to now your mubtada? What happened to your mubtada? From in Allahu, now it has changed to nasb status. When I used inna, it abolished the marfu status, it erased the dhamma and changed it to nasb. Do you know the concept of nasq in Quran? Who knows about concept of nasq in Quran? That certain verses came and the previous rulings were abolished, erased, eliminated, were no longer applicable, cancelled, right? So similarly, like when the new rulings came about, for example, about certain matters, the previous rulings were erased, abolished. Yes. So those rulings were not applicable anymore. Yes, or more so, like you will see there was something about zina. There was another ruling came, and that is not mentioned in Quran. It is mentioned in Hadith literature that rajam is there, right? Rajam is the punishment for fornication if the people committing the crime are married, right? So the previous ruling was not like that. It was not the first ruling. The previous ruling got abolished by what came next. So similarly, inna, what it does, it erased now your from mubtada, which was marfu in status forever and ever. Now what happened to your mubtada? It became what did you just told me? You just told me it now has become nasb. That is why these haruf are called harufe nasikha. Okay, because they change the status of your mubtada from raf to nasb. Is it clear, my dear sisters? And let me do it for you. How I will now translate this verse. Inna Allah, indeed Allah is ever seeing. So before my original sentence was Allah is ever seeing. Now it is indeed Allah is ever seeing. Since I brought inna here and it is nasikha, it changed the status of mubtada from marfu, from raf, now to nasb. And every time I see inna, I know my sentence has begun. This is my beginning of my jumla ismi. Every time I look at inna, it tells me my jumla ismiya has begun. Clear or not? So now, no, it's not going to be tricky. Not at all. Not at all. You are going to just, in your mind, you are going to tell yourself, now inna Allah has taken place of Allah. Okay, and this is now in place of your mubtada. You can just call it harf nasab wa ismuha, harf nasab wa ismuha, and basir is going to be khabru inna. Do this one for me. Huwa mu'minun. Who is going to tell me what is huwa? Huwa is mubtada. Mu'minun is what? It's K. Now comes inna. So what did it do to who? it made it nasb. Remember your attached pronoun, these attached pronoun, this ha ghaib, this ha is always, when it is attached, it is always nasb or jar. This ha, haul ghaib, third person, third person is always nasb or jar when it is attached. So here, what is the status of haul ghaib? Innahu, my dear sisters, Ranaz and Aisha as well. I hope they are okay. Clear? So what happened? Huwa mu'minun. Translate, my dear sisters, real quick. He is a believer. Innahu mu'minun. Innahu mu'minun. Harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab wa ismuha. Mu'minun is khabru inna. Khabru inna. Khabru inna. Everyone with me so far or no? Don't change any labeling for inna. Just call it harf nasab wa ismuha. Okay? And just remember, it is a nasikha. It abolished. Just rethink about all those verses in Quran that came and abolished the previous rulings. And inshallah, so then you will formulate in your mind that, because how the status of mubtada got changed to nasb, and now we are just going to call it ismu inna. Ismu inna, or whatever. If it is la'alla, you will call it ismu la'alla. If it is anna, you are going to call it ismu anna, as you have done it in the past. No, we are just going to call it harf nasab wa ismuha. And this is taking the place of your mubtada. It's just the same mubtada, but now it is mansoob in status. So you just keep the labeling the same. Harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab, this one is harf nasab wa ismuha. And you just call mu'minun khabru inna. Okay, let's do one more and see what do we have here. Okay, we have a lot of 6 of them. So let me show you more examples of that. Ka'annahu. Ka'annahu. What are we seeing here? Ka'anna plus hu. So what should I label? Can one of you unmute yourself and come on and say it? Who wants to volunteer here? Aisha, do you want to? Sister Samina already up for it. Okay, go for it, Sister Samina. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Ka'anna is the harf nasab, and who is the attached pronoun, so it's mansoob because of the ka'anna, and the whole thing is the mubtada, and this is the khabar of ka'anna.
Zullatun. Zullatun is going to be the khabar for ka'anna, right? So who is ismu ka'anna and zullatun is khabru ka'anna, right? Everyone with me so far? Okay, who wants to do this one? Aisha? Actually, your name is on the top of the list because of the spellings and everything. So Aisha, how about this one? Inna.
Inna, indeed.
What do you think is a pronoun here?
Alif.
So na is a pronoun hidden here, right? So innana, it was originally innana.
Innana.
Okay, innana. So just for the ease, we merge it. So it is in because of the merging, we see one noon, and that is mushaddad. Actually, there are still 2 noons, but it was innana. So yeah, so inna plus ismuha, right, together. And what is zaiqun?
Zaiqun is the ismu inna.
So ismu inna is already the pronoun here, right?
Okay, it's the khabar, right?
Very well done. It's khabru inna marfu. Again, you will label it as bilwa. Barakallah. Marfu bilwa. Very well done. Very well done. Who wants to come next? Or if you want to just
I'll
type.
try.
Okay. Walaikum assalam, Sister Sabra, go for it.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum assalam warahmatullah.
Ka'anna is the harf inna. The ha is attached.
Ka'anna. So now this is ka'anna, right?
Ka'anna, yes. Ka'anna is the harf
nasab.
inna, harf nasab, and the ha becomes the ism.
Ka'anna.
Ka'anna. Then this is, the whole thing is mubtada, and janun with the khabar there, janun is khabar. So
yeah. So ka'annaha is going to be
Yes.
nasab, harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab wa ismuha. And janun is your
the khabar.
Khabru ka'anna, right?
Khabru ka'anna.
You don't have to now write any mubtada here. You don't need to even write.
Oh, okay.
You don't need to. My dear sisters, you can just write harf ka'anna wa ismuha. And then when you write janun as khabar, marfu bil dhamma, that means that you have understood that this is taking the place of your mubtada, and this is taking the place of khabar. And this is your khabar, just like a khabar, because change only happens to the mubtada, right? Khabar is not undergoing any change because of haruf nasiba. Khabar is remaining as it is, but it only affected mubtada of the sentence. It made it, what did it do to the mubtada? It made it mansoob. If ka'anna was not there, what would be the form of ha?
It would be the same because it is non-flexible, it's attached pronoun.
No. If I remove ka'anna, for example, so what is that?
Ha is the feminine.
I think you said hiya.
Yes, hiya. Yeah,
yes.
Ha is the feminine
if
form.
I remove, yes, that's what I want you to answer. Yes, you got it. If I remove ka'anna from here, it would have been hiya janun, right?
Yes.
Hiya janun. But now I want to say as though it was a big serpent, right? So I had to bring ka'anna there. And when I brought ka'anna, it changed my hiya to what? To ha. Right? Because it is nasakha. It does the naskh. It abolishes the status of my mubtada, which was hiya, to it changes it to nasb. Right?
Yes.
Everyone with me so far? You all got it? My dear sisters? Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's just continue with typing and so that we can finish it off because we don't have much time. So ka'annahunna, again, ka'annahunna, you will label it as, my dear sisters, it is going to be, you can just say ismu harf nasb wa ismuha, harf nasb wa ismuha baydun. What is baydun? Now what will you label this bayd? Khabar and maknoon. Can you connect these two together? Yes, they are mawsuf sifa, and the bayd is the khabru ka'anna, right? Harf nasab wa ismuha khabru ka'anna sifa li bayd. Everyone clear? Ka'annahum, again, harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab wa ismuha. La ya'lamun. Khabru ka'anna. Now what should I label here? This is jumla failure. Jumla failure is my khabar. So what is a labeling for that? Now I cannot say marfu bil waw. What should I say? It is when the sentence is there as a khabar. What is the term that I should use? No. Fi mahalli raf'in, because your khabar is always supposed to be marfu in status or raf in status. So you used in place of raf, we have a whole sentence, right? We have a whole sentence. If I removed here, what is the status of home? What's the status of home? Nasb. Everyone with me? Everyone with me? If I remove ka'anna and I say hum la ya'lamun, does this sentence still make sense? Is it still a jumla ismiya? Right? It is still a jumla ismiya. But I want to say as though they don't know. Right? I want to say that. Right? So for that, I have to bring ka'anna. When I brought ka'anna, what did it do to my home, which was mubtada? Now it made it nasb. So therefore, I don't want to call it mubtada anymore. I will just, because I will attribute it to ka'anna. Now it has taken over. So I can just keep it as harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab wa ismuha. Everyone with me so far? Alhamdulillah. So we are going to be doing the homework. These rest of the verses are going to be your homework on these slides, and I will help you. I will mention this where the sentence is beginning. I will parenthesize that thing so that there is no confusion, inshallah. Yes, we are going to call it harf nasab wa ismuha. Harf nasab wa ismuha. Yarshudun is going to be khabru la'alla. La'alla, harf nasab wa ismuha. Kum is ismu la'alla. Okay. Tashkurun is khabru la'alla, and that is fi mahalli rafin. La'allahum harf nasab wa ismuha. Yadarra'un khabru la'alla. Lakinna shayateen harf nasab wa ismuha kafaru khabru lakinna. Something like that. Okay. So everyone is supposed to finish their work, inshallah, and I'm sure you all will, inshallah, so that there is no so that we can learn at at a good pace, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we have come a long way, and I don't want you to start forgetting things. So okay, inshallah. With lam and inna. So let me just stop the recording here, and I'm going to take your question. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka. So wa natubu ilayk. And stop.